To catch a predator.
Oh, it's just that. He started it, but I thought that was going to be...
To catch a predator.
Well, we are playing the Predators today.
I get it.
This is going to be an interesting pregame show because we have...
I didn't even get it.
The Cowboys game and Broncos with the Cowboys, DLS Cowboys show up there just wringing their hands about this team. We have the Mavs show up there watching the Cowboys and also feeling sad.
How are they doing, by the way?
They're losing.
Not great. Not good. And
don't worry, the
Mavs
Packers
are getting
playing a
ready
couple
to try
hours.
to not be 0-3 to start the season. So apparently, Stars at 500 ain't so bad. Let's start the show right now.
To catch a predator.
I was waiting for a second line.
Hold up.
This is the DLLS Stars Pregame Show alongside Craig Ludwig, Sam Nessler, remotely alongside Sean Shapiro. I'm Owen Newkirk. Ryan Vaughters is our producer.
Don't forget about the peanut gallery upstairs.
Quite a few juggling. We got 2 shows up in the lounge, Cowboys and Mavs. They're getting ready for Cowboys postgame and Mavs pregame on DLS. But before we get into all of that, let's talk about the new face-off merchandise drop that just hit. Look at this collection. We have 2 new Dallas DLLS hockey shirts. Really, we're vibing with the green one especially. They're both nice-looking shirts. Get them now. Luds is banging on the table because maybe GM Ben will hook us up with a free one of these if you guys get on this and buy them right now. If we sell enough of them, then perhaps...
Wait a second. Why maybe? I thought it was a done deal.
You know, with our boss who's over there, sporting... Sell 25 this week. We'll get free shirts. We'll wear them. You can see them. We'll all be having a great time.
What's 25 times 8?
Luds is trying to figure out whether it's worth
how
buying
much beer that's going to cost me.
And if you're wearing them at our DLS Stars Takeover event, Luds is apparently picking up the tab.
Sean's doing the math for me right now. Look at him. You're doing the math for me, aren't you, Sean? What's 25 times 8?
He's doing the salary cap.
I was doing that. I was doing math on that, and then I was also doing math on backup goalies and their save percentages that are randomly playing tonight. So that's what I was doing.
Sean knows how to party.
Yeah.
Let's talk about lineup because this is a big deal. Roope Hintz will not play tonight. We all, if everybody that watched the game last night, saw him take the hit from Taylor Hall, leave the game, didn't return. Here's the hit. Luds, you didn't think it was super high, but there is a little bit launched. But you also said last night you kind of naturally come up a little bit when you're trying to lay a hit. You had a night to sleep on it, or maybe in Lud's case, didn't sleep on it. Any different feelings on the hit?
No, I think they made the right call with the 2-minute. I don't think it was intentional, deliberate. I don't think it. The primary contact for me was not to the head; it was more to his chest, shoulder area. So, and I don't think there's anything else from there.
So Hintz is out. Let's take a look at our possible lineup. Now, this is just based on what we learned from Glenn Gulletson. We haven't seen line rushes yet because they just started the warm-up. Oskar Bäck is supposed to play his season debut. He was activated from the IR earlier today. And although Bäck is a center and has played center before, he hasn't really done it under Glenn Gulletson. And it sounded like Gully when he said Sagan's going to come up and play in the Roope Hintz spot with Ranson and Steele. And I just kind of guessed with the bottom 2 lines because based on that, I think Fox is of the guys healthy now.
Yep.
He's the guy that gets moved to the 3rd line. And they've used Ritzkovian there before. And Gully said, well, Bäck can play both center and wing, but based on the injuries, we're probably going to play him more at wing today. Thoughts about this lineup?
My first thing is, as funny as it is, not funny, but as disappointing as it is to see Roope Hintz, obviously top line center, going out of the lineup. For me, the bigger loss is Sagan coming off a line that has looked really good with Ernie and Blackwell. That line has been the best line for me over the last couple games and looked to be, constantly putting pressure on Sagan and Ernie. I made a joke about the same day hip surgeries bringing people together, but
Bonding.
they really have like a really good connection, really good chemistry. It's a shame to see that kind of get switched. But on the other side of it, the Stars are reeling right now with injuries. So it'll be interesting to see how they work, because we've been waiting for the Hintz-Rantanen duo to kind of get clicking. Goldson's given it a chance. Now it's right out, and they got to find a way to get it to work with Sagan.
Before we get back into serious hockey talk, Ryan, get to the chat, and I want you to put up two people's chats. First, Kayla has now created a "Let's get ready to grundle," like as in Michael Buffer's old line. That's pretty clever, Kayla. I think that's actually a AI project, Ryan. That might be a good opening of some sort of. What would you do for a voice there to have "Let's get ready to
Bruce
grundle"?
Buffer?
I'd do Michael Buffer.
It was Michael Buffer.
Michael
Yep.
Buffer, sorry.
So then the other one is Stars Fan 91-96, a supporters club member, by the way. If we didn't get tickets to the Stars takeover, can we still get free beer if we wear a shirt? LOL, 4 Luds emojis.
Well, if they buy a shirt,
And they're at Hooters.
If it's one of
that's
the
right.
new,
Would
if it's one of the
somebody
new
quick do the
shirts.
math for me here, quick? What's
We need it.
25 times 8? You already got it, Sean. What is it?
200.
It's 200, but-
It's 200.
That's easy math.
But what
We're good.
happens if a bunch of diehards show up that aren't going to the game with us but are wearing the shirts?
I won't. I'm not worried about it. They
He's
won't.
not worried
They
about
won't.
it. That's a yes,
They
folks.
won't.
You can take that to the bank.
Are we talking at Hooters? Are we talking here?
Hooters.
Got it.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay. So
I have two questions real quick on this. One,
please.
were we airing live when we were making when we had our Grundle conversation
No.
before the air?
No, the Grundles per 60 did not make the chat.
But it did just now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sean and Sam just added a new advanced analytic into the conversation, which is wonderful. What's your second
Ball,
question?
Butt cracks and,
then
grundles.
Yes. And then the second one is, I'm sure people know this, but you brought up the Buffer brothers. Isn't it kind of, aren't they the two brothers that they actually didn't know each other existed until they both got into announcing and broadcasting fights? Like they both.
Is that
kind of, like,
true?
they were kind of, yeah, like they were kind of like separated at birth or something like that, or they're like
No way.
stepbrothers.
I didn't know
technically.
this.
And then they didn't. So someone needs to go look up the actual story, but like it would be the equivalent of like me and Sam finding out we're brothers somehow on this show, and that just somehow life brought us together. Like,
It's true.
Yeah, that's fair.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me. If that actually happened.
Floods, I would be worried about my brother if that was the case, because doesn't Sean look like Michael Myers is about to sneak up behind him and
Oh well,
do the next Halloween
but it was
movie
either
here?
that or have the halo over his head, what you had before. So
Well,
You did. You did have sort of a heavenly lighting situation
Yeah,
going
well,
on.
we'll move to a better. We'll move to the other scenery setting for a post game when children aren't running around the house. This is the quietest spot in the house right now. So.
All right. So back to the lineup. We talked about the forwards, but I do want to ask you guys, Luds, what's the impact in your mind of losing Roope Hintz, even in the short term? He's obviously their Stars top line center, first power play unit, which we'll get into that, and he's tied for the team lead in assist.
well, the good Roope, when he's playing the way he can play, I say this all the time, his speed through the neutral zone backs people off at the offensive blue line. So, and I believe that him and Mikko Rantanen have a connection, right? And so whoever plays on that left side is able to, do a little dirty work. But I just think his speed backs people off. It creates open space. And that's when guys like Rantanen or Robo, whoever plays there, that's how they kind of get into their comfort zone and they find, bigger pockets on the ice.
Sean, I'm not going to ask you about line combinations directly, but just based on how you saw what was laid out, we'll see if that's actually the case when the warm-up's done and the game gets started. But what's your feelings about, they're missing Jamie Benn, Matt Duchene, and now Roope Hintz, and going in to play their second half of a back-to-back?
Well, Sam brought up Tyler Seguin being moved down earlier, and I mean, I look at those lines and it feels like a distinct top six, bottom six split. And we have seen how this team has tried to deploy a 3+1 strategy before when it came to kind of how and where and minutes and everything like that. So I am fascinated to see how the usage plays out tonight of, do we get line 1 and 2? Is there a heavy dosage of usage for them, a lighter dosage for the bottom two lines? Or does the nature of a back-to-back create more of a Pete DeBoer-esque, we roll all four and see how it goes? And just situationally we get some more. So I'm fascinated to watch the deployment and usage tonight based off both the injuries and the situation of this team played 24 hours ago.
To me, that's a really good point, because I don't think you wear out your top two lines, and I'm saying that only from the fact that they played last night. And when you're fatigued and overworked at times, we don't need it like a Rantanen or Wyatt or somebody like that getting some kind of a tired kind of an injury in game 7 or 8 of the season. So, but again, points are points, and they're always important. And again, I look at these lines, and I could make 2 good lines. I think you could make 2 good lines, but again, I think Sam Steele bought himself another day up there, but Gully likes that, and that's fine. So, but I mean, I think you could move a couple guys around and you'd have 2 guys there. But to me, this is why times like this is why Glenn Gullickson and his coaching staff, they work on the defensive side of things, because you have to be detailed in your end of the rink now. And because again, if you got a couple bullets missing, you may not be able to get to 3 or 4 sometimes.
Are you trying to win this game 2-1?
Yeah, exactly. And, and again, now against this team, when you look at this team, if you take care of those things with the defense that they have, in my opinion, you will get some opportunity. So it's about, turning those into goals.
Let's talk about the goal droughts from Sam Steele and Miro Heiskanen. Luds, you had an interesting line last night in the postgame show saying this might, just getting his first goal and then his second of the season for Miro Heiskanen might take a little bit of the load off. But then you go back and look at it, and his goal drought went all the way back to January 9th, pre-injury in Vegas, late January. He scored at Philadelphia on the 9th of January. It's only a 17-game goal drought because of all the time he missed in the regular season. But it's almost a calendar year. I mean, it's not quite. It's probably 10 months since he scored a goal. But that has to have an impact even for a guy as good as Miro Heiskanen.
Yeah, but the reason I said that had nothing to do with the goals, not of scoring the goals. I just think he feels better about his game, because to me, at the start of the season, he wasn't clean like we've seen him clean. And again, he's getting through still some lingering things. But I just think it's one of those kind of games where, there was a couple little boo-boos in the game, but it resulted in a good ending in it, and you can kind of go, maybe I'm getting that stuff behind me. And now you just pick up where you left off, not in the other parts of the game leading up to that. So again, it's always good for guys that put up points. And Miro's not a big point guy. He's not a guy like Harley that's going to get 20 goals. I mean, I don't think he is. Maybe he will at some point. But I just think for his head to be able to have that game end the way it did and be the direct result of why they got 2 points out of that, he can now take the next step and kind of take a little bit of a load off of anything that's in the past.
Yeah, one thing I heard, I forget who said it, but Bishop might have said it yesterday after the game about how the Finns have stepped up to be a voice with Jamie Benn out, Matt Duchene out. I'm really curious because you just brought up Heiskanen made a couple bad plays on that second goal that led to the 2-on-1. Yep. A couple fumbled pucks. Just
that's what I was talking about,
right?
Yeah.
And then they have the first period. Apparently the Finns speak up and a couple other guys, and then Miro comes out and a minute in scores that goal. It's just kind of like Miro may not have even said anything, but he said, watch, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly how we need to play, because this is not how we should play this game. I just thought that was interesting.
And you 3 guys have probably talked to the Finns, as you mentioned that me. One time I just asked them what bar they were looking for. And that's the only time I've ever talked to them. And they weren't even looking for a bar. They're looking for a Whole Foods. So I made that mistake. But I mean, from what I understand, you don't hear a lot from Esa. No. You don't hear a lot from Miro. So when you say the Finns are speaking up, is that because of Mikko Rantanen pulling them kind of out of that shell?
Could be.
I think it has to be.
Yeah.
And I also think that we've seen, and we'll miss him today because of the injury, Roope playing a little bit more physical because of how he sort of the impressions he gets from watching and playing with Mikko Rantanen all the time.
Well, I don't know if he was playing more physical. He was on the wrong end of that physicality.
Well, on that one hit, perhaps, yes.
But he's playing heavier.
Yes.
Like he's going into areas.
Which is what I'm talking about.
He's taking the initiative to get into those areas. And so that's a step. And I agree with that. I think that obviously Mikko was having an influence on those guys along with the rest of the group, hopefully.
Sean, Sam Steele has scored more recently than Miro Heiskanen in the drought department because it was February 28th against the Los Angeles Kings, but it was 29 regular season games before he put one in. And I know we keep giving him sort of a good-natured hard time about whether or not he's actually a guy that should be in the top 6. I think he has that skill, but the goals haven't followed that. And you had an interesting piece you talked about with your comment about Maverick Bourque last night.
Yeah, we talked about Maverick Bourque after a super chat last night was asked about it, and credit to whoever the super chatter was, because it made me think. And when I drove to the rink this morning for my Sunday morning pickup game that I play every Sunday, and then during all of that, I kept thinking about what is and where is Maverick Bourque going? I kept thinking about that way too much this morning. And I made the comparison to Sam Steele. And one of the things that you look at with Steele's perspective, and if you kind of go and look at them side by side historically, if you kind of break it down by year, Bourque is already kind of going right down the exact path we thought. We're going down the exact path age by age. And I sent you the graphic earlier on. Maybe I should have sent it to Ryan. That would have been good planning. It is actually it is on the DLLS website. Go become a diehard. Go read the story. There's a good.
That's right.
Go do that. Yeah, to go do that. But you see, Bourque and Steele were both captains and point per game guys in the WHL and the QMJHL. They both came out and had a little bit of adjustment period in the AHL, and then were really good guys, really good players in the AHL, and had their game there. And then for Steele with Anaheim and then Minnesota, struggled to live up to the hype of being a first-round pick. And I mentioned it last night. I think we've been seeing that with Bourque. And the question that I brought up to diehards in the piece, and I don't know the right answer to this, and I kind of talked about it last night, but I would go through this. If Maverick Bourque just becomes Sam Steele in this iteration, just becomes a Sam Steele type player, a kind of a multi-tool that can be used everywhere, is that enough? And I don't know the answer to that, right? Like, I think in a pure hockey sense, of course it's enough, right? But we go back to the expectation and the first round pick and everything like that. And right now we see Radek Faksa playing better than he did during his first stint in Dallas at the end, because he's lost that, because by being traded away, he kind of got the cleaning of the draft status away from him. Same thing that happened to Jamie Alexiak when Jamie Alexiak was a first round pick in Dallas and really struggled, then got traded to Pittsburgh, comes back, and then all of a sudden loses that outside, well, you're a first round pick of this organization, you must become this. I as I said last night, I hope I'm wrong about Bourque. I really hope that he becomes this guy that a year ago I was like, and you know what? He's going to be first line center. We're going to be great. He's going to be good. But him and Steele are, we may be looking in the Maverick Bourque mirror at Sam Steele's career, and that's maybe where Maverick Bourque ends up having to go. And I don't know if that's enough for a first round pick perception wise. And I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts, and then obviously our wonderful diehards thoughts on that as well. So.
Should we just lay out on Sean and say it's time for an ad break?
Yes.
All right, let's do that. We'll talk more about it next on the Stars Pregame Show.
Me?
It's you.
Yeah, I was just texting Hooters to see how much a pitcher costs over there.
He's already planning his bar tab.
I'm thinking, why am I buying bottles? Can we pull them shirts up? Because this might cost me a lot of money.
Hooters?
What? It is on Hooters.
You don't have Hooters on speed dial?
As a text message?
Yeah. Well, we walk out the door every day. It's right here. So anyway, by the way, this is the same read that Owen started the whole show with, and it's not even a read, but we're just going to reinforce it with our two new shirts. And I'm the one that's leaning towards the green one. We're still trying to debate what the 3 stars are up there for Dallas, and we just think it's a star. So anyway, and everybody knows the news now. So if we get up to, what number is it, Ben?
25 this week,
shirts.
he said.
If we get 25 of these shirts sold, apparently we're going to get free shirts.
Yes.
And mine won't obviously be free because I'll be.
Well,
but people have to wear them to Hooters, the Hooter event.
These shirts.
These
shirts.
These
face-off
collection
shirts
shirts,
to the
not
Hooter
just
event.
any DLLS shirts.
Yeah, no, it's got to be one of these two. So if that happens,
you're buying it around.
I'm not going to be that happy about it, but I'm going to be happy that they're wearing these shirts out here. Yeah, you guys can wear yours, and so I'll try to figure out how to get around the beer thing.
So go to alldls.com and buy these shirts.
Yeah,
is what he's
DLLS.com.
Well, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I and everybody, not only all the goofs that are in this studio, but everybody makes decisions every day. Prize Picks, your decisions can pay off when you are right. Prize Picks is the simple way to, guys, Cowboys are bad, right?
What's the score?
You can make some money off of the Cowboys being bad, right? By using Prize Picks. Pick either against them or maybe even for them. Like maybe Dak Prescott's going to have more than blank yards, or maybe the Cowboys are going to lose and he's going to have this many turnovers. That's that simple. You put together a few picks, you can win just like that. Download the Prize Pick app today and use code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you place your first $5 lineup. That is $50 after you place your first $5 lineup. That's code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup, because Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
All right, quick thoughts on Sean's dissertation before the ad break, because we'll just connect it together. You think that Maverick Bourque is on pace to be Sam Steele? Is that necessarily a bad thing? Is it only a bad thing just because...
Wait, be on pace to be what?
To become another Sam Steele-like player, right? Is that the ceiling, right?
I wouldn't compare to Sam Steele. That's just me. I think Steele's got a little more spunk to him. I think
he means more like Sean had him as a top six center.
Yeah, no,
point getter.
I agree. I agreed with Sean, and then last night we were like, well, maybe not. I did, and what I said last night was I speak for myself. Seeing little glimpses of what Maverick could do last year and not getting a ton of opportunities and playing where we're like, yeah, this kid's gonna be able to do this. Now, when he gets a heavier dose of it, not so much right now. It doesn't mean that it won't be there, but I think it's there. I don't think he's got. I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like he's got that crazy knack around the front of the net like Wyatt Johnston does to put the puck in the back of the net. I think, Sean, don't you think if he's going to score goals, they're going to be more Stankoven, bang him in, get to the front of the net, get rebounds, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and he's going to be someone who it was going to be more of the hockey IQ and more, not the prettier stuff, but it was going to be a little bit more of being able to play off elite players, which he just hasn't done at the NHL level that I thought he was going to really be able to do. And real quick, Luds, when I talk about the Sam Steele evolution, I'm not comparing Maverick to Sam Steele right now, but if you look at the reason Sam Steele stayed in the league is because everyone wanted him to be that top six guy, that top line guy. He was drafted in the first round, wasn't able to be that guy, and then adjusted his game and found that other element. My point with Maverick was more of, I see a lot of that where because Maverick is not having that success offensively, he's not having that hockey IQ first line type player stuff that we kind of saw in the prospect development part and junior and the AHL. He's going to have to go down more of the Sam Steele path if he's going to have success. Is where that's kind of where that goes, to kind of give a little bit of an explanation for anyone listening at home too. So,
all right, guys.
Okay,
we got an update for you. Mike Heika lines. Third line, the first two lines are exactly what you expected it to be.
Interesting.
Third line is Justin Ritzkovian centering Adam Ernie and Colin Blackwell. Radek Foxa will center the fourth line with Nathan Bastian and Oskar Bäck, which, by the way, was the fourth line during training camp before the injury to Bäck. That was what they were going with, was three big bodies in that. That's a very meaty fourth line. So Ritzkovian, Ernie, and Blackwell, not a tall line at all, but with some speed and some jam.
There's some tenacity to that line. You know, again, I kind of sometimes, well, not with Ernie so much because he's a bigger dude, but I mean, the littler guys, you know, like when you're around that campfire and them little gnats are flying around there and they just bother you a lot. And so I think that's kind of what I think about those kind of guys. So,
but you're so good at
getting. But I like the.
Why are you looking at
stopping
me?
Stop short. You know,
and make a grab. That's a good move.
Stop short.
Reference.
But I do like Ritzkovian there because I think that there's more speed there.
Do you guys see that big space over Sam? That's where that Seinfeld reference went right over his head. All right, let's talk about the power play for a minute, and actually special teams on both sides. The Stars have the #1 ranked power play in the NHL right now, 34.6%, and they were really good again at home with 2 more power play goals last night as they got the win over Carolina. But they have the 27th ranked penalty kill. On the other side, the Predators are awful on the power play as they are 27th, but they are 4th in the league in penalty kill. Now, Luds, I wanted to ask you about the Stars power play because, boy, their home power play, 8 for 17, 47.1%, best in the league. Why do you think the Stars power play is humming along so well right now?
I think we can revisit a couple of them little graphics or videos that we showed the other night. I guess it's not videos, but whatever we call still shots. But here's what happens to me when you're missing some skilled players. you ultimately dumb things down a little bit. And I think what's happening, and here's one of the key. I mean, I love Esa Lindell in front of the net. How often they're going to use him there? Probably on that second group, quite a bit. But what I see is I see directness, and I see where they're not passing it around the perimeter of the ice as much. When they're finding that they get shooting lanes, they get traffic in front, pucks are going to the net. That's what I think makes the big difference. And yes, Mikko Rantanen's not always going to be that guy in front of the net, but he sets a lot of things up. By playing that way, you're getting more opportunities. The other thing is, I think what they do, they've always done this, but what I like about it is they play downhill. Like when things are, and here's an example of just numbers. Like they bring everybody to the party, whether they're trying to recover a puck, whether it's going to the front of the net, but you have the extra guy. So why let them hang out here? Let's go in, let's get the pucks. And then again, like with Miro, like what happened the other night, all of a sudden Miro is going downhill and he's taking some shots here. And I think he's getting that possibly from Thomas Harley, right? I mean, we see what Harley does, and Harley, was a result of a goal. But again, this here goes off of a, Carolina player. But it's because there's people in front of the net. Yes, Miro's trying to make a pass, which he usually does, but he gets fortunate here. It goes off a stick. But he's going downhill, and you can even see other people are gravitating to the front of the net. So I think it's just a result of getting more pucks to the front of the net with traffic and bodies, and they're recovering it. They're hungry when they're on the power play. And there was, with Wyatt even. I mean, Wyatt's always a guy that kind of stays on the outside of things a little bit until he sees where he should be. And then all of a sudden Wyatt gets in there, and with the hands that he has, he's got that quick release. But I do believe it's because sometimes when you have 5 guys on the ice that are all skilled guys, they all have a tendency to show off their skill, and they can do that. But as they're doing that, the time on the clock is going away. These guys are getting 3, 4, 5 chances per their minute and the 10, whatever they stay out there. And when you have guys, 2 or 3 of them on there that can bury it, they're getting success now.
It'd be interesting, Sam, to see who steps up in that spot for Hintz. Is it Tyler Seguin because he can play that left side half wall, or is it going to be somebody else that slips into the bumper position? We'll see how they go. They still have Rantanen. They still have, of course, Wyatt.
He's going to play
Robo.
a lot.
And they have Miro, but they do have an opening on the top power play.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think that, Duchesne, Ben, Hintz, Nils Lundqvist was on the second power play unit a little bit with Hart. It's just crazy to see all the bodies that have gone down and see this team first on the power play. And I think you're exactly right, because you can't play another way.
Yeah.
With the guys you have out there, you cannot pass it around for a perfect play. It's not going to work. The other key that I've seen is Mikko Rantanen. He just stays on the ice for 90 seconds plus on these power plays, and that's because if you watch him, I think you joke about it, right? He's up here at the blue line, the puck goes back to their end, he's still up here by the blue line. He doesn't move a whole lot in a good way. He knows what he's supposed to do. He's in the spot, and then he conserves his energy to be able to make those plays.
He's in an open area, so when one of the other 4 get the puck, I think now they're like, where's Mikko at? Because we're going to get it to him because he's going to create something. But he finds an area out there or somewhere in that offensive zone where he can get the puck back, and then he's so good at putting pucks between players' feet and stick, and he can saucer this far away, and it lands flat. So, yeah, get it to that dude.
You can tell we've had a lot of fun so far. We haven't talked about Nashville at all. We have less than 2 minutes to go. Let's look at the goalie matchup today because in addition to Casey DeSmith starting, Nils Lundqvist was placed on LTIR to make room for the ability to call up Kyle Capobianco. He's the extra on this trip. He's not expected to play today, but they wanted to make sure they didn't have any issues with an illness or an injury between last night and today. But DeSmith gets the start. Justus Annunen will go for the Preds. Sean, your thought about the battle of the backups today in Music City?
2 guys that have played the exact same season. They both faced 26 shots. They both made 21 saves. They're both and they've both let up 5 goals in their only start. They both have not played in 12 days. They played on the exact. They both have played in at least not 12 days. So it is this is one where there could be. It's 2 guys that did not look great in their only start of the season, and their teams have been overusing their starters because of their performances. So either they're going to shut some people up, or we could have a 7-6 game tonight. The other thing I will say about this, because my fun fact for the night, Liam Bichsel has taken 101 shots in his NHL career. He has taken not 101 shots. He has taken 41 shots in his NHL career. 14% have been against Justus Annunen. 50% of Liam Bischel's career goals, too, were against Justus Annunen. I'm gonna have to learn how to pronounce it by the end of the night.
Justus Annunen.
Justus Annunen. So Liam Bischel, in every game he's played against Nashville and Annunen, he has scored. So Liam Bischel, goal tonight, book it, save the
Was
clip.
this the one when he stole Ben's goal? Was that goal against Nashville?
No, that was in Detroit.
When he
Detroit.
was. That's
No,
right.
that was
I forgot.
Sean. That was the
I
Shapiro
forgot about
Bowl.
that.
That was in Detroit, and that's why Jamie's still sitting right on that milestone number that he still doesn't have yet. So,
And amazingly hasn't scored in his last 15 games. Let's talk one quickly about the Nashville Preds. So, Ryan, put up the forward groups.
I have no idea.
Luds, this is a lineup that just, like, there's some good players in here, but it's not necessarily instilling a whole lot of confidence.
And the problem is the good players aren't being as good as you expected.
Yeah.
Marcia Soul's got a goal. Stammer's only got one goal. You know, their leading goal guy is Ryan O'Reilly. Who's, what, 104 right now? I mean, it's and he's not fast anymore. But the other thing is about this team, go to their decor here for a quick second. So look at the defenseman, okay? So Wilsby has played 22 NHL games.
I like him.
Stastny has played 60 NHL games. And then Barron's got 165. He's got 45 points in those 165. Perbeck's is got 220. But you know how they always say that you need 250 games before you become, I don't know who made that up, but this is where you take advantage of this group right here, is they play in the offensive zone. And between Shea and Haig, they're not going to be able to handle them with the people that are around them. I think if Dallas does that, they'll come out with 2 points. I'm not saying they're going to crush these guys or anything like that, but I believe that's the weakness for this team.
Well, I mean, I think with Sean, with Luds, we lost Sam, but he'll be back. Our producer, Ryan, I'm Owen. Thanks for joining us.
That was a
pregame
record
show.
that just called. I think they're towing his car in. I think he's good.
He's having a tough day, folks.
Yeah.
I think Luds might actually say, so Ryan, what is going to happen here? Oh, he doesn't have it. That's it. All right. Pre-game shows. We'll be back for the post-game show.
This is all because the Cowboys are going to crush these guys.
There it is.
yeah, there we go.
We all silly like the mayor.